But see, then when you talk to my mom, who is a lefty, I mean, through and through, to the bone. I was raised by, but I'm like, Mom, what do you love? And she hates Trump so much. She thinks that he is Hitlerian. I'm like, but there's no evidence, Mom. We did 4 years. He's not Hitler. That's it. And she doesn't know what you're talking about getting rid of, the person who's breaking up monopolies. Nope. And she watches MSNBC and CNN. Actually, MSNBC went so far left, my mom actually gave up on it.
Oh, wow.
She was worried about illegal immigration, and they called her a white nationalist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And my mom was
crazy.
like, I am not a white nationalist.
What about the Black community in Chicago that's been furious about the influx of migrants because they need resources, but all the resources are going to the, influx of migrants who showed up.
Right.
And so they're like, wait a minute, we need housing, we need homeless shelters. Like, what's going on? Are they white nationalists for saying these things? No, they're not white nationalists. It is a genuine concern, and we should find solutions for it, right? Like, that doesn't make you a bad person. I believe in immigration.
Me too.
Okay, I think that, again, just going back to what I was saying about LA, LA is great because of its diversity.
But not illegal immigration.
Right.
Like,
you have to have control of the border. If you don't have control of the border, you don't have a country, right? Like, that's just, and by the way, you want to know who said that? In an interview with Vox in 2015, Bernie Sanders. Senator Bernie Sanders said that. He's like, I don't support open borders. You want to know who supports open borders? The Koch brothers, okay? The corporations that want cheap labor.
Wow.
And I don't know if he would say that same thing today, because when Bernie Sanders came onto the national scene as a presidential candidate, he has a very narrow focus, and that narrow focus is to improve the economic lives of Americans. And he just didn't want to get sucked into or distracted by some of the toxic, divisive culture war stuff. And at that time, BLM was coming up and all of that. And they basically eventually beat him to submission. And his 2020 presidential campaign was different. It was more focused on the culture war stuff. And he's always been principled. He's always had the same policy agenda when it comes to economic stuff. But I realize that you end up disenfranchising or turning a lot of people off when you start treating Americans as groups as opposed to pursuing universal policies that make everyone's lives better. You get what I'm saying?
I absolutely do.